Tiny, your overalls, I think, are closer to oversums, like all overalls are, because it is not overall.
I thought you was trying to tell me I had a hole in my groin again.
Not in these. These look stout.
Sturdy, boy.
Very sturdy.
They are. They're awesome. I got them at the flea market.
So they're of the highest quality.
I can also tell that you haven't quite worn them enough to get the flea market starching off of them, because they still look like they got a little bit of stiffness in them pant legs.
They do, but they have been laundered like 4 to 5 times.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's some heavy denim.
The highest quality is at the Livingston Flea Market. It's insane. Over by the orange elephant. Not the pink one, but the orange one.
That's Highway 111 North, located just past Rickman up on the
Dealership
hill.
in the middle of the cow pasture.
Right before it.
Oh my God!
Hey everybody, I'm Dane Holland, and throw some cool sunglasses on me and send me into the cyberverse.
I'm Austin Shazam Pfeiffer, and it's all about that one thing.
I'm Marcus, Child of the Mist, known as I Am Electric Man.
I'm Professor Austin Tiny Zent, and I'm going to learn you something.
And I'm ready to sit in on the class today in Nerded Through the Grapevine, the podcast where four best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. And the newest set of Magic the Gathering is called Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, and it is taking place in there's a former set called Kamigawa, which is a Japanese-inspired culture in the Magic the Gathering universe, but the reason I want to talk about the newest set, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, is because I want to go into the theme that they represent in this set, which is cyberpunk. Like, not the newest video game that we've talked about in the past, but just the genre itself of cyberpunk. So in this newest set of Magic the Gathering, there are ninjas and samurai that are also hackers, and there's neon lights in a super futuristic city, and also there's a gang of biking cyber rats.
Yeah.
That's much...
Oh my God!
Which is exactly what I said whenever I saw it was coming out. So you may be thinking to yourself, well, A, I don't care about Magic the Gathering, and that's fine. We're moving on from that. And B, I don't care anything about Cyberpunk. That's okay, too, because I'm going to tell you what Cyberpunk is, because Marcus has no idea.
I really didn't until 5 seconds ago when I Googled it.
See, he's already done it for you, so if you just want to do that, skip ahead 15 minutes to the next topic. Cyberpunk, according to Wikipedia, which we all know is the truest form of information.
The mother source.
Yes. At least the grape source, at least for everything we talk about. Cyberpunk is science fiction in a dystopian, futuristic setting that tends to focus on a combination of low life and high tech, featuring futuristic technological and scientific achievements such as artificial intelligence and cybernetics, juxtaposed with societal collapse or decay.
Thus the punk in the...
Thus the punk.
Okay,
exactly.
that makes sense. I never knew that.
Yeah, and a
So
lot
I
of
Googled
it...
it 5 seconds ago.
Right. And yeah, the punk has to be thrown in there because just like with the genre of steampunk, there's always like the people in the lower part
Like
of
a social
society.
change.
Yeah.
Like social like type stories.
And most of the
Exactly.
time, you're not going to be running into that point of view in the story coming from the rich person or the one in the hierarchy. It's kind of a, I'm going to be starting from the bottom, now we're here kind of story. Like Drake, inadvertently cyberpunk.
It also says that on TV tropes that it borrows elements from film noir and like detective fiction.
It does. A lot of times there's like a detective style main character involved.
Yeah.
There was a TV show that came out in the past few years called Altered Carbon on Netflix.
So good.
I've never seen it. It's really that good?
Oh, yeah.
It didn't look that good.
First season is great.
I didn't watch the second season.
Second season, meh.
Yeah.
But yes, the first is definitely a cyberpunk style future, which is heavily taken from Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what show are you talking about?
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
Because Amazon has their Electric Dreams, like kind of,
Yes.
anthology show, which
Right.
I've never gotten to watch.
Which is Philip K. Dick. It's a lot of his stories,
Right.
because he does a lot of short stories that are in that type of setting.
Cool.
And Blade Runner was taken from Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? So a lot more people, I think, are familiar with Blade Runner, the movie, than they are the actual the works of the novel that it draws from. But yes, Altered Carbon, perfect example of that detective style main character, kind of almost against the cybernetic kind of culture kind of stuff. Like he's much more just base human. Like you look around him, like he's got a butler / hotel runner that is AI. Like he's just an artificial intelligence that's like it's his begrudgingly best friend, basically. Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, and it's Edgar Allan Poe, which makes it even
Yes,
better.
it is.
And isn't the hotel called the Raven?
Yes. Yeah.
And it's kind of like he hates the technology, yet he's trained to be incredibly good at utilizing it.
Right.
And all I know is after watching the first couple episodes, my thought was,
Oh my God! Wow!
Dadgummit. There was a movement of writing in the 60s and 70s called the New Wave Science Fiction movement, to where a lot of writers were kind of experimenting with this new genre of writing, of saying like, well, technology is starting to get a little bit more advanced, very early stages. But they were trying to see like, okay, what could this look like way off in the future? And how could it be detrimental to a part of society and very good for a different part of society, which would be the elite? And then a lot of cyberpunk since then has been the exact same formula of the elite and the rich have all the access to all this amazing technology to make their lives just perfect. And then anyone underneath them is doing whatever they can to survive with much downgraded versions of that tech and trying to find unique ways of using it. And a lot of times these stories involve one of those people getting a hold of this higher tech or some kind of information on some kind of drive.
Or by the time they get it, it's already like junk.
Yes.
It's like they're just picking through the refuse and detritus of the rich.
You know, my brain just went to a place and it thought, well, oh man, that'd be so cool if they had like a steampunk universe where everything was all gear driven and all old world style, and you would have them fighting to get to the top to where they could actually have access to the availability of the stuff to the rich, and and then I got to thinking, I was like, oh shit, that's just Arcane.
Yeah. Arcane is like a steampunk story with magic,
Yeah.
basically, right?
Yeah, and
Wouldn't you consider that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think so.
And the
as far as
magic-
I can tell.
And the magic for the technology that they have, makes it seem just like absolutely out of this world advanced. So that makes it more cyberpunk than steampunk.
well,
Be
see,
a fusion.
based on the definition that you gave, it got me thinking like, man, there's a lot of science fiction movies that I really enjoy that fall in that genre. Like Elysium, AI, one of the best movies ever. If you don't cry around the end of that movie, you have no feelings, and I don't want to associate with you.
For AI?
Yeah.
Have I seen AI?
That's when the Haley Joe boy from the Sixth Sense that sees the dead people.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Except he sees robots in this
Sure,
one.
sure, sure. Yeah. They ain't real
Robots.
You're a robot, Harry.
either. Like Blade Runner also, and The Matrix, and Judge Dredd.
Yep.
Yeah.
He recycled food. It's good for the environment and okay for you.
What would you say about the first season of Raised by Wolves?
Ooh.
Because the only thing different is it takes place on another planet.
Yeah, no, I would see it as just science fiction. I wouldn't see it as cyberpunk because it's not. No,
I mean, there is some of that social stuff, but anyway, I was just curious. We don't have to harp on
I
that
think
one.
there are parts of the
Yeah.
genre that fit there, but it's overall it's not. I would just say it's science fiction.
Demolition Man
Yes.
Yeah.
with Sylvester Stallone and
You don't know what to do with the 3 shells.
Yeah, no,
Look
nobody
at him.
knows.
You don't know what to do with the 3 shells.
You don't.
Is that a Mario Kart reference?
No, it's
Oh,
it's a Demolition Man. Basically it's like their safe sex routine for the future.
Oh.
And they put these 3 shells on their bodies, and it like transmits the neuro pathways of I'm having sexual pleasure to you instead of anything actually having to happen to prevent the world from spreading more STDs.
I thought it was like bathroom related because the
No.
no, like because there's the clip. It's okay. I've never seen the whole movie. I've seen bits and pieces, but he comes out of the bathroom. He's like, "There's no toilet paper. There's only 3 shells in there," and everybody's like, "I don't know what to do with the 3 shells."
It was a joke about him not knowing what the sexual reference is?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I feel like we have a lot of those on the show, too. Like a lot of them.
What?
Sexual reference jokes that I don't get sometimes.
Oh, I don't.
Oh my God! Wow!
We should clear up that as we're talking about sexual things, that is not from a pornographic film.
It's not.
That is from, what'd you say, a South
A
African
South African soap opera.
soap opera. Which
That thing is real bad.
it is someone reacting to a fake tiger on a table.
As if it was a real tiger.
As if it were. Well, yeah, that's how I would react as well. One of the biggest influences of the genre of cyberpunk is a novel called Neuromancer by William Gibson. It's a book I've actually read like a long time ago. So everything about it's a little fuzzy because all that's taking over my brain with anything whatsoever is Malazan lately because of Marcus.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. It's actually a great place to be. But this novel, you follow the main character, and it deals a lot with like the cyberverse, basically, of like these companies building up what's called like ICE, which is some kind of like thing that your conscious can go in and interact with to get through, to get information. And like it's so like if it sounds very confusing with the way I'm describing it, it's also that while you're reading it. I need to read it again because it's a lot of fantasy and science fiction. It's a lot of made up bullshit, and you've got to kind of make it real in your head with all the words that they use,
which can be hard to do sometimes.
Very hard to do sometimes. And Neuromancer is one of those. Also, mainly because it's one of the first, like that did as much as it did for the genre. So, like it's a first of its kind of thing. Still a good read. It was interesting. Like I wanted to keep reading it, but at times it did feel like a slog, just because I was like, man, I am lost right now. Like I don't know exactly. Are we in the internet or are we in like a hotel room? Like. Or does the character even know? So I don't know, but it is neat, and you do get that kind of feel of the detective style main person, but he's also just like a hacker man.
Yeah, they say hackers are like a lot of times going to be your characters. Also, this is interesting. Expect the scientific philosophy of transhumanism to be a feature of a cyberpunk story. So that's always good. Like
what do you do with your consciousness after it leaves your body?
That would fall into that category. Is if it's like techie.
There's a show on I believe it might be HBO or Amazon Prime. I can't remember which one because I've been sitting on the couch a lot. That's called Upload. And in this futuristic technology-driven world, the upper class have the ability to upload their consciousness upon the time of their death into a pre-designed avatar figure representing one stage of their life that they want.
Well, Altered Carbon does that too.
Yeah.
And Black Mirror has that really good episode called San Junipero, I believe.
That's what it seems like the whole time. It's nuts. It hurts. But also, it's only available to the upper class, and the people that are driving the story, we're from the
They don't get an afterlife, huh?
Well,
no.
You can't have too many Navi wandering around, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because then they'll be hooking their hair up to all the horses and all the cats and the cows.
Next thing you know, you can't eat any corn because it's just reaching out at you like you're not accepted into eating this corn.
Exactly.
It would wreck the rooster.
Well, just transhumanism in the sense of like, mankind fusing with technology and like where is the line between machine and human? Like blurring those lines and kind of playing with that middle area there.
They uploaded they only upload them into a database that is a simulation. They did achieve one human that was supposed to be a human body recreated from that DNA injected with the consciousness from the actual place that they had been uploaded into. It was played by Creed Bratton.
Oh,
From The Office.
The Office.
Because the person who wrote the show is Greg Daniels, who wrote The Office stuff. And it was sponsored by Oscar Mayer Genetics Labs.
That's wonderful.
And his head exploded.
A lot of times with, like you mentioned, this blur between, human and machine, like at what point, are you one or the other? A lot of the cyberpunk genre is those kind of messages as well, because even back then, like in the 60s and 70s, where technology is starting to kind of show its head a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's where fear starts coming in of, oh no, where's this going to go? And even now, like there's the whole the debates of when should children have cell phones? How much time should you spend in front of the screen? What is the internet doing to humanity? What could it do? Amazing things. What is it doing? The worst possible
Devastating
thing that anything could ever do. But
it's a devastating tool at this
point.
point.
It is, and a lot of these stories kind of go into that of this futuristic idea of what that could be like, and the further along we get, these stories started back, 60s and 70s, where we are now, 2020 and beyond, these stories are becoming more and more reality than they are far off science fiction.
Right. It's stranger than even the fiction is.
It really
sometimes.
is. VR headsets, for instance, that's something that was a kind of thing in these kind of novels. And then now it's just something I could go to the store and buy if I wanted to and use my phone to do it. So, a lot of the fears that they have in these kind of stories are becoming real life, which is neat and terrifying.
I mean, our very first episode was about the Neuralink.
Right, which still isn't here.
Yeah, and I volunteered, and we've got at least 4 more people that listen to this show since then, and Musk hadn't heard me.
So are you saying that we're living in a cyberpunk? Because I don't know if I'm okay with that.
You're getting there, baby.
Dystopia, check. High tech, check.
Neon lights everywhere. Plenty of cities with that.
People not paying attention when I drive through campus because they're too busy on their cell phones. Check.
Transhumanism, check.
Yep. We're getting there.
Yeah.
So we're checking a lot of the boxes.
God, y'all need to watch Upload.
I thought it would be more epic than this, though.
No, it's pretty crazy, though, because this is... I think Upload kind of seems like it's on the cusp of the turn between, before everybody had realized, okay, this shit's not okay. Mm-hmm. It's not just for you. And it's at the turn of that. So the uprising hasn't happened yet.
Gotcha. What are you talking about?
The show Upload.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about we're gonna have an uprising and you're willing to start it.
I was like, wait, are we going to become noir detectives
down.
and solve this mystery?
It is for the motherland, the great vineyard in which we rise and grow.
I am willing to be a general in this revolution.
Welcome to the Backyard Bonanza.
I'll be a private.
Ooh.
And you're all privates in the Backyard Bonanza as far as I can throw.
Yeah, Daddy.
You're all privates in the army that I'm concerned with.
Gross.
Ugh.
And
Shaving Ryan's privates?
my mouth actually hurt after I smacked it, so somebody give me a second to recuperate. Oh, so I got another one of those things on my phone that told me, hey, something you're interested in.
Whether you like it or not.
It's one of...
My God!
It was total bullshit, but I'm going to tell you why I got excited. It said in the year 2022, there's supposed to be a release of a movie that is the third of a sequel, kind of trilogy. It's a trilogy, the third of a trilogy. There we go.
Sure.
Just like we just got the Ghostbusters third in the trilogy, which is Afterlife. I haven't got to see that one yet. But the one that I was kind of excited for was hearing that City Slickers was supposed to have a third movie coming out as well.
I didn't even know they had a second movie.
How did you never see The Legend of Curly's Gold? That coming out of my mouth seems really weird. Yeah. It really does. But no, it's awesome. God, they even have their own little theme song they sing it. Okay, if you've never seen City Slickers, Marcus, you have the premise being Billy Crystal.
Yes, I know who he is.
Great hamburgers.
If
you don't like your insides.
Daniel Stern.
No.
You ever seen Home Alone?
Yes.
The tall burglar man.
The tall bandit
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
plays Marv. He was also in Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that picture since Coffee McGee.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That's Daniel Stern.
You got to treat your arm with hot ice.
You take the ice cubes and you heat them up. It's the best of both worlds.
Okay.
I love Daniel Stern.
He's incredible.
Okay, and Bruno Kirby. Now, Bruno Kirby, he died back in 2006, so he wouldn't be able to be in this new one. The same with Jack Palance, who is also one of the main characters in this. You might not know Jack Palance off the top of your head. He almost blends in with Clint Eastwood when you're thinking about movies. But if you ever saw the original 1989 Batman movie that was the Tim Burton film, he was the main mob boss that Jack Napier killed to take his position in place. And just remember, you are my number one.
That's the yep.
Wow.
That's the one. I can see his face now.
I
Couldn't
don't
before.
even know who he is
Now
off
I
the bottom of
can.
my head.
Anyway,
city slicker.
but he played Curly, the cattle boss, and he was just like this rough and tumble. Like, these guys are Middle Ages, and this is funny to think Billy Crystal in the year 1991 is, to be a middle-aged man, because I'm getting into that age now. So I perceive that movie in a different way than I did as a child when I watched the movie. Yes, it was slapstick and it was funny, and he did say hello like, hello. He beat Medea to it, just saying. Nobody gives Billy Crystal credit for that, but he beat Medea to it in City Slickers.
Oh my God! I hate it!
It's always... it also had a kind of a heartthrob character that he finds. Okay, here's the premise. It got so sidetracked. So Billy Crystal is middle-aged in this movie. His name is Mitch. Mitch has a best friend played by Daniel Stern. And his name is Phil. They get conned into all these different attempts at like grasping to their youth and their young masculinity, and I'm going to go run with the bulls. And Mitch ends up taking a horn to the butt cheek and having to go to the Mexican doctor.
As you do.
And he was he was not happy with that trip, so they abstained from having any more adventures like skydiving and going and running with the bulls or trying, extreme mountain biking and all this other stuff. But they decided, let's go for one last hurrah. We've heard about this this cattle drive that you can pay money to go be a part of, and you get the authentic cattle drive experience, and you'll be provided with the things that you need for the trip. And these three dudes from the city, from Boston, go out and into the middle of the plains and go have a cattle drive. And it goes just as well as you'd think. It doesn't go well at all, actually. It doesn't go very well. This was before smartphones, so if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can't find your way. You have to actually use like cowboy techniques and traveling with the herd and all this other stuff. And if you get bit in the butt by a snake, you have to suck out the venom. And that's
Your own butt? You have to snuck the venom out of your own butt?
Not if you have a best friend like Billy Crystal, because
Are you a best friend like Billy Crystal? Or any of
I don't know
you?
if I'd suck your butts. I
Would
don't know
you
if I'd
suck my butt if there was venom in it, though?
I don't think I would suck venom out of your butt.
Because I would
with a plunger.
Because honestly, I would probably get to I would be smart enough to say like, oh, that's you sat on a cactus. Like that's what this painful spot is. You've sat on a cactus. You've got a quill right here.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be like, I don't know shit about nothing besides animals are scary, and I guess that a snake leaves its teeth in you whenever it gets done biting. No, you sat on a cactus trying to poop outside in the desert.
I just know that I'd be a dead man if I get bit in the butt by a snake, and none of you want to suck my butt to get the venom out.
I have open wounds in my mouth.
See,
I'd pee on it.
the thing about this movie is that people don't give it enough credit for is because a lot of people haven't seen it, so I mean, it's understandable. But it was a very big movie for its time. Jack Palance, who I was just previously speaking about, won an Oscar for the Best Supporting Actor in this movie. In his acceptance speech, being 73 years old, he talked about how it's not just a young man's game in Hollywood. and while accepting his Oscar at 73 years old, did one-arm push-ups on the stage.
What?
Yes, to show that he's still got it. He can still keep up.
That's pretty impressive.
He died later that night.
I mean,
No, he died in 2006 at the age of 91.
Wow.
Legend.
Oh my God!
Why does it? Why does
that's
it
what
always?
genuine thought.
Why does it always fit? Quit it! Oh God! But after you watch City Slickers 1, get ready
To do it again.
because what are we gonna do? Like, what are we gonna do, Mitch? We can't go back out on the trail. We almost died last time. Like, but I received a bar of gold and a treasure map signed over to Curly because I was friends with him from the last cattle drive. So let's go back out into the wilderness, out into the desert, and try to track down this lost treasure. With another Jack Palance that isn't Curly, because spoiler alert, Curly dies in the first movie, hence the second movie being such a crazy.
But it's the same actor
Same
playing
actor.
a different character that they meet?
Yes,
Did they make reference to this at all?
the entirety. Watch it. Watch City Slickers 1 and 2. My idea of it coming into a newer genre is just like, okay, now these guys were going to reprise their roles. Like, I want to see what Billy Crystal now is going to do out in the wilderness. Like, how is it going to happen? Like, why is this happening? I'm glad that Daniel Stern was on with it again too. Like, it ever got past like talks. It never got past like storyboard discussion. But
so
it was
the
not.
title was the only thing ever mentioned, and
Yes.
somebody wrote an article
Yes.
with a clickbait.
Yep, absolutely. I absolutely clicked a clickbait. But it was a good clickbait because I didn't realize how long it had been since I'd seen these movies. And if you've never watched them, you need to watch them. I feel like they're classics and they're classic slapstick comedies. I feel like there's a lot of stuff in there that would be hard to giggle about, upon talking about it, but you're seeing this happen in the situation that it is happening in. I mean, it's literally like if I'm watching all of us decide we're going to be outdoorsmen and we're going to go live out on the cattle in the cattle drive. Like we're cowboys today, folks. Let's go. That's generally what they got as training. Like, here's how to lasso. Can you ride a horse?
I mean,
Here we go.
I do have leather pants, so I'm down for this. Also, where can these movies be viewed?
I believe that they are both on HBO Max, I want to say. So if you have HBO Max, you can watch City Slickers.
Oh my God! Wow! Oh my God!
The second movie, though, did not feature the original. I think his name was Kirby, last name Kirby. But anyway, John Lovitz replaces him as a character, and I think John Lovitz adds just
That's a great choice.
He adds a whole different. Okay, funny joke. First movie, there's a calf born on the cattle drive that Mitch had to deliver from his mom was dying with him inside of him. Saved the calf. He takes the calf home with him from the cattle drive to raise him in Boston. Anyway, so now he's got a cow in Boston. Anyway, so he got John Lovitz who comes over and he's like, Mitch, I just thought he's Mitch's brother. He said, I'm just going to help you out. I just wanted to help you out and do the chores around the house a little bit. I tried to milk your cow. And I was out there and I tugged and I pulled and I tugged and I pulled and I tugged and I pulled and nothing came out. Nothing was happening. And Mitch looks at him. He says, the cow's name is Norman.
It's a Chicago bull.
But I just thought that it would be a good idea to see more comedy because I hate to think about all my childhood actors that I remember seeing and stuff just go away, just not be a part of things anymore. Like, how are they going to age into these golden years of their life on the silver screen? Like, how is this going to happen? And I just don't know. I don't see where I'd be seeing Billy Crystal ride into do a cattle drive again. I don't know. I don't see how they would make that happen.
And I don't think they are.
I don't know. There's actually there's a bunch of support groups for it.
Support group. That's who we need to call into the show.
Billy Crystal started one.
He started.
He started one. He's like,
He started a GoFundMe.
He's like, I'd love to see this happen. Why not?
When you said support group, I imagined like all these City Slicker fans who gather like weekly to talk about how there's not a third one, and they grieve and they help each other get over it. And
There's probably some podcasts about it, honestly.
Right.
Like, that's the gathering.
Hey, hey, Shirley, you going over to the CSA meeting tonight? I haven't been to City Slickers Anonymous in so long. I really need to.
I mean, there really was people that did self-harm on themselves because of Battlestar Galactica got canceled.
What?
Yeah.
Oof,
So-
that sucks.
Yeah, people take this stuff seriously sometimes.
Yeah, but if you've ever seen City Slickers, you'd know how pitiful that would be.
Well, I mean, have you seen Battlestar Galactica?
How dare you?
How dare you? So, have you ever been sitting around getting ready for the podcast and you're like, I've talked about all the things that I like. I don't like any more things.
Have you heard my topics lately?
It took 80 episodes.
That's where I was at today. I mean, I was sitting around and my first thought was,
Oh my God! Wow! Oh my God!
we've done so many episodes and I've talked about so many things that I went to where did it go? No, hold on.
I was hoping you would say you went to a psychic and she drew your tarot cards.
No, hold on. How do you go to the history on a crapple iPhone?
On Safari?
Yeah.
You just go to the history.
Is it the book thing? It's the book thing. Okay, I found it now.
Did you find it?
I did. So I went to everybody's favorite website, WikiHow, and clicked random. So today we're going to learn how to catch and look after wild mice.
Okay.
That's what popped up because I didn't have anything else to do. So domestic mice are common pets that are easy to care for, but you can also catch and keep a wild mouse in your home. Wild mice may carry diseases such as the bubonic plague and rabies.
Bring it on,
And
baby.
they cannot be tamed like a domestic mouse and can get stressed by human interaction. However, you can still attempt to keep a wild mouse if it's legal in your area to catch and keep wild animals by having proper habitat, capturing them humanely, and keeping good care of them. You can have a mouse that you caught yourself.
Who's going to come into your home and say, that's a wild mouse, you're arrested?
If the TWRA shows up to this house to look for wild mice that I'm trying to domesticate, that they have no business being in law enforcement because they care about the wrong damn things.
Look, all I'm saying is if I can't keep and train wild mice to perform in some kind of animalistic circus, then what America am I living in?
The false one.
The false one.
Legalize it.
Legalize
Yes.
wild mice training.
I will
Yes.
start that protest.
Yes, put it on a T-shirt.
There should be no reason that we can't have wild mice in our own houses if we want to. Hell, what are you
well,
going to do? Get in trouble if it accidentally crawls into a cage?
hell,
Well,
they
what if
get
it
in
starts
here anyway.
bubonic plague point 2 or 2.0? Though?
Point two.
That's the fear, probably.
It can't be worse than this COVID shit.
I don't know.
Bubonic 2?
that one was pretty bad.
No, what if it was part 2? Bubonic part 2.
The squeakquel, yeah.
Yep.
So, like, at what point when you catch a wild mouse and put it in your home, is it no longer a wild mouse?
I don't know.
Because it is now a captured
Yeah,
mouse.
prove where I
I
found this mouse.
assume that it's specified somewhere in the steps. Okay. So step 1 of capturing a wild mice is place a store-bought catch and release mouse trap to catch mice in your house. Bait the traps with peanut butter or strong-smelling cheese. If you've noticed mice in your home, place catch and release traps along the walls of your home. Make sure the traps are parallel with the walls so the mice are more likely to run inside of them. Or you can set up a bucket trap outside if you want to catch multiple mice at a time. Place a 5 U.S. gallon or 19-liter bucket outside your home in a barn or in a garage. Use glue to secure a thick, straight wire to the lip on top of the bucket. Glue a paper plate so a quarter of it hangs over the side of the wire and the other 3/4 rests slightly on the lip of the bucket. Scoop a small spoonful of peanut butter on the side of the plate close to the wire. Make a ramp leading up the plate using a plank of wood.
So much work.
This is for industrialized mice
Exactly.
capture. This is some secretive NAM shit up in here.
The mice will try to climb on the plate to get to the peanut butter, but will fall in the bucket instead. Leave the bucket out for a few days at a time to catch multiple mice. Mice caught outdoors are usually field mice or voles. Field mice can live up to 4 years.
In a bucket?
No, not in a bucket.
Okay.
With proper care and maintenance.
Yeah, like letting them live in
With
your house.
nature? Like,
Yeah.
with Mother Nature.
Well, I assume if they live in your house, they'll live even longer. But I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Do I look like a ratologist?
If you were to capture me and keep me in your home in a cage, I swear I would die earlier than if I were just going about my business.
Yeah, that's probably the truth. I mean, have you ever seen the movie The Green Mile? It's part of your favorite
Yep.
universe.
Absolutely, I have.
Well,
I've read the book.
That long ass mouse.
Yeah, Mr. Jingles, like he lived like
He was a
crazy
long
time.
mouse?
Long lifespan. Mr. Jangles is a circus mouse.
Yeah, Mr. Jingles was like 60 or 70 when he died.
Is Mickey Mouse a wild mouse?
I think he's a domesticated mouse.
Who's the human
He wears
domesticating
pants.
him?
Walt Disney, duh.
He never shows up.
He did until he died.
He did his job.
Mickey's like the alpha there.
He probably communes with Walt Disney's frozen head in some weird ritualistic
That could
fashion.
be,
Or maybe Walt Disney was the first one to be uploaded.
Could be. After you catch the mice, transfer them into a tank after you've caught them. That's worded bad. After you catch your mice, bring your trap to the tank you have set up and carefully move the mice into their new habitat. Either set the trap down and open it on the floor or gently dump the mice from the bucket into the cage. Don't try to handle the wild mice right when you've caught them, since they'll try to bite you out of fear.
Wow. I'm glad they told me.
Who'd have thunk it? So wear gloves if you absolutely need to handle the mice. Since wild mice can carry and spread diseases to humans, wear thick, bite-resistant gloves whenever you need to handle the mice.
I gotta touch him. I gotta
touch this.
It's so soft and
He's
fluffy.
so cute.
Look at it just minding its own business.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. They threw my whole finger.
Bite me just a little bit. Yeah, I like it.
Just a little nibble.
Right down the knuckle.
Ooh,
Nibble me, Mickey.
I like the way it feels on my skin.
Oops, I spilled the peanut butter on me.
Oh, God.
Now the mice are having a field day on your nipples, Marcus.
So
no!
much peanut butter.
Marcus, it's nipples!
Oh, God. Reminds me of this horrible movie. So, preparing a tank for your mice. Use a glass or plastic tank that has 1 cubic foot for each mouse. Use an aquarium-style tank with a wire mesh top for your mice. Set the tank in a quiet area of your home away from other people or pets. Make sure the tank is out of direct sunlight because they're vampires. It doesn't say that, but I assume. So it doesn't overheat during warm weather. Okay. My bad. If the wire mesh doesn't stay on top of your tank tightly, place a stone or small stack of books on top. Make sure the tank still has ventilation. Line the bottom of the tank with shredded paper or wood shavings. Fill the bottom of your tank with 2 to 3 inches of bedding so your mice are comfortable. Use pieces of shredded paper or aspen shavings so your mice can burrow and dig around in the space. Provide a dish for food and water. I don't need to read all of that one. Put a small box and cardboard tubes for your mice to hide in.
I feel like so there's all these steps to properly do this, and yet I feel like the type of people that are catching wild mice to keep as pets are the ones showing up at the back door going, "Look, Daddy, look what I got, Daddy. You like it? Can I keep it?"
Son, it is against the law to capture a wild creature and bring it into the house. Look at here on the wiki. Well, shit, son. It doesn't say that in Arkansas. We good here in Arkansas, boy. You
Look,
catch all
they
that mice.
they misspelled Arkansas. They just put AK. That don't mean anything because they didn't spell the whole thing out. So we got a legal loophole.
I thought it was called Arkansas.
So place a small box and cardboard tubes for your mice to hide in. Place a small cardboard box in the corner of your tank to make a hiding place for your mice that's so repetitive so they can sleep without being disturbed. If you plan on keeping multiple mice, provide another small box or various dark enclosures such as toilet paper tubes or PVC pipes. Are you okay?
It's so not fair that we can't push the button during this entire segment. Oh my God! Wow!
I know. I mean, I'm like, it'd be really hard to go back and forth to do it.
No, it's just that I'm thinking of this father and son character living off somewhere in Arkansas, and they've got these mice. They're capturing them. And then he finds out that he's been sharing his information on how he's capturing all these mice, and the father just gets furious with the son. Tammy, I thought I told you not to be getting on that Wikipedia and posting up how to do this mice capture. You have the best method in the business. I don't know why you want to give away your secrets for free.
Especially that Arkansas bucket trap.
Arkansas.
Copyright. So include branches so the mice have something to chew on. Mice need to chew on things since their teeth continually grow. Find a thick, solid branch from their natural habitat and set it in their cage so they can gnaw on it.
When all you have to really do is give them a really complicated piece of information. Have them chew on that for a while.
That makes sense.
As opposed to sticks. I mean, they're not wild anymore. Make them civilized. You have them in your home.
Yeah, let them hear the just get some vinyl of like readings of Edgar Allan Poe for one group, and then some vinyls of like, I don't know, somebody else. Maybe just like
Name one more poet.
the works of Wham and George Michael.
Okay, that counts. That definitely counts.
Because I mean, imagine the mice listening, "Wake Me Up Before You Go," or Freedom. It's going to be a lot less depressing as the mice listening to Poe.
Yeah. So taking care of a wild mouse, give your mouse rodent pellets or fresh fruits and vegetables. Purchase a bag of rodent pellets from your local pet store to give your mice a complete diet.
Buy a mouse from your local pet store while you're grabbing the food.
Look,
Just get a mouse.
They're 99 cents.
They're free.
They're food.
Steal one. Grab it by the tail. They can't stop you. They're not police officers.
no, don't grab them by the tail. You could rip it out.
No, that's lizards.
No, it said it in the article.
It said it in the article?
Yeah.
Did you say it and I wasn't listening?
I did.
You said don't grab it by its tail. It'll kill it?
Yeah, it can rip out the tail,
or
which
will
is
it
attached
just-
to their spine.
I thought they grew back.
No, that's lizards.
But what if the lizard has DNA that is like a mouse?
That's a different kind of thing. All I know is sanitize your mouse tank once per week. Take your mice out of the cage and put them into a different plastic
We
container.
have to put them back in the freaking tank.
Yeah, put them back in the bucket while you clean their tank.
Put the gloves back on
Yep.
and all that.
But what if the bucket's being occupied by fresh mice captures?
We've only got one bucket, Daddy. We've only got one.
We can't integrate. I can't integrate them before that. We're de-integrating when we integrated. We can't be integrating those
Well,
things
no.
in the wrong way.
See, the old heads will teach the new ones
yeah,
how it
that's-
goes, you know?
Listen here, young mouse. If you want to survive here, you're going to have to listen to me.
And Edgar Allan Poe, apparently.
Has anyone ever done the prank where you like go to a pet store and like start asking the associate who's trying to sell you like, so how long do they take to cook? You know, like, do these mice like do they taste really good? Or surely somebody's done a prank like that.
How
before,
hard
right?
is it to debone one of these little suckers?
And then how much are they?
Like,
wow,
are
we
these
could eat dinner with for 4 months off these things.
Like, I'm just wondering, like, are these the crunch them up kind of bones, or the debone them with a fine pair of tweezers kind of bones? Because I don't like. I don't want to go through none of that fishy in my
Sir,
teeth stuff.
you cannot kill these animals. These animals have rights.
They were caught with real Arkansas rat buckets.
Copyright since 1963.
Daddy!
Refill water and food when they start to run low.
Good.
Check the food and water levels in your tank and make sure that they are not soiled or rotting.
Copy and paste to every pet wiki how ever.
Whenever you notice the food or water is empty, clean out the dish and immediately refill it.
Immediately. If you wait
Immediately.
20 seconds.
Yeah.
They're all gonna die.
Check food and water each day so your mice don't get stressed out.
They're already stressed out. You took them away.
Well, I mean, if you capture the whole family, then you know what they have to worry
They've
about.
got people to talk
And you've
to.
already given them tubes from your paper towels to crawl in.
They're like, what kind of god is this? They get placed in a concentration camp.
What else do you
with
want?
like a box and some toilet paper tubes, and there's food and water at least
Peanut butter everywhere.
everywhere.
We start noticing that they develop their own culture and their own kind of like these mice have their own personalities and they start becoming too smart.
Oh, no.
Watching us every time we go somewhere and you see
All
like
right,
the
Pinky. We're going to try to take over the world.
Exactly.
Or at least Marcus's nipples.
You got brain. You got brain.
Feed
but
the
we gotta
mice
get them on.
occasional treats to try taming them. Put on your gloves and hold the treat between your fingers. Let the mouse approach the treat and take it from your hands. Talk to the mice in a low and quiet voice, kind of like this, as you give them treats so they know that you're not going to hurt them. Give them treats once or twice per week to calm them down. Wild mice can never be fully tamed like domestic mice.
Oh my God!
Oh, don't worry.
I don't even know what's happening right now.
It'll be there.
Rodent treats can be purchased from your local pet store.
As well as rodents.
Yes. Separate mice if they get aggressive with one another. Male mice usually live fine together if they're kept from a young age, but they may become territorial if you've taken them from the wild. If you notice your mice fighting or that one is injured, keep them in different tanks.
Will they cannibalize each other like
I don't-
ducks do?
I don't know. It
Wait,
doesn't say.
what did you just say about ducks?
They cannibalize each other.
Ducks eat duck?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a duck eat duck
Whoa.
world.
Really? How long
Yeah.
have they been doing this?
I'm having deja vu. Have we not talked about this on
No.
the podcast before?
Surely
Okay.
not.
Well, I'll have to tell that story one
I
day.
don't know. I'm amazed by things easily and frequently.
Yeah, that
So
one's
it
an
could
interesting
be,
one.
It could be a rehash.
So, go ahead.
Ooh, that was a harmony
Wow.
and everything.
So we know now how to do this.
We do.
Did it say why to do this? Did
Just-
it, at any point did it say why
It,
you
it
should?
can it can give you feelings of awe and inspiration.
It can give you feelings of
Oh my God! Wow! Oh my God!
Was this whole
Exactly.
topic a setup for that punchline?
No, I thought about that little clip on the way here, and I'm like, I haven't made them listen to that, so that could be fun.
Well, you gotta. The people that are wanting to capture these mice to this type of level aren't normal people.
No.
I'm sorry.
They could be.
Like,
Scientists,
Who are
maybe.
you to judge these
it's
people?
Arkansas Bucket Boys.
okay, as far as I'm concerned with what I consider my normal, I'm not trying to yuck their yum. I'm just trying to say that I don't get it.
What if I want to train the mice to bring me beer when I'm thirsty?
Well, then you're going to have to clean up a lot of mouse
Or
poop.
what if I want to train them to pull my sleigh in the wintertime because I can't get to work because my car is stuck?
I need to see
So I
this.
get 47
I
mice.
need video evidence.
Timmy, we got to get to work. We got to harvest 10,000 field mice by next winter.
How many would it take?
10,000 field mice power.
What would you tie to them?
You can't
Yarn?
touch their tail.
Small bits of string.
Yarn?
The smallest bits of string.
Paracord, just different colors of paracord going all throughout. So as they're running, you can see like different colors and flashes and patterns.
They'd all be going different directions, and like you would just be going nowhere.
Oh.
So speaking of going nowhere, I can't seem. I love reading.
Good.
And I read a lot, mostly fantasy, because I'm a nerd. But sometimes I just DNF these books when I've literally got like 80% of them read, and then for some reason I just completely lose track or lose interest. Even sometimes, maybe, even though I've enjoyed the book for the most part. I don't know what it is. Like, is it just my mood?
Is it another book making its way into your
I think that has something to do with it.
vision?
Or it could be a video game, or it could be something else. It could just be, oh, I forgot to read that night before bed, and then the next day something else is inspiring me or, brainworming me to death.
Yeah.
But so I've been trying to read Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn trilogy, and I just devoured the first two books. I smashed through them so quickly, and they were a lot of fun. So Brandon Sanderson, he's like one of the heavy hitters in the fantasy genre right now. He writes like a madman. He writes massive books very quickly. He's got a ton of books out there. He's actually the one that finished the Wheel of Time series when the late Robert Jordan passed away before finishing his life's
never-ending
work.
story.
his life's work, basically.
He wrote
And-
that?
Huh?
No.
Oh, no. Different. Never-ending story is different. It was just a phrase.
I am Atreyu. So I don't know. It's just like one of those things I've not gotten into. He's one of the biggest in the genre, my favorite genre. But I've only read 2 and almost a third of his books now. These were his earlier works, but he's kind of known for his magic systems. So Brandon Sanderson has like these laws of magic, and he's just really into creating these almost gameable magic systems that have these defined rules and stuff. And it's like this really heavy feature of his stories, which can lead to some really cool like action sequences, because sometimes a lot of readers, when they read action sequences, it's just like he punched, his arm extended and the knuckles pounded into the nose and a satisfying crunch. Sometimes it's a kind of a play-by-play.
Mm-hmm.
Me as a reader, I just kind of I breeze through that. I don't need to picture every action that the characters are taking when they're fighting. It's basically just they fight and who wins. But in Brandon Sanderson's the Mistborn trilogy, there's something called allomancers, and they are able to like burn the trace metals that are in their body for certain abilities. Like I think 10, I'd have to look at it. But anyway, so like trace metals are kind of lingering in your body.
Like iron and zinc and
so iron would be like, it allows the allomancer to pull on nearby sources of metal. Pulls must be directly toward the allomancer's center of gravity. So I'd be able to like pull a piece of iron closer to me, or pull your weight off of a piece of iron. Like say there's a piece of iron up on the top of a castle or something, you could be able to like pull yourself up there.
Oh, okay.
So is it like a ratio of material to body weight? So like if it's like a big piece of metal, would it pull you versus a small one, you pull it?
See, these are the kinds of things that he gets into, and there are rules for that just kind of slip by me because I don't necessarily need to know every single aspect of the magic system. It's there for you to discover and to like play around with. But for me, it's more just kind of about the story. So steel allows the allomancer to push on nearby sources of metal. Pushes must be directed away from the body and way of the center of gravity. So basically the same thing. So if there's a piece of steel on the ground, I could push myself up into the air if I'm standing on top of it. 10 is burns and increases the sensitivity and capacity of the allomancer's 5 senses, and all must be increased at the same time. So if you burn 10, you're going to be able to hear from far away. You're going to be able to see things much brighter. And plus, in the world of Mistborn, these mists kind of dominate the night. So once the night comes, these mists start kind of flowing out over the hills and through the land and stuff. And then if you burn 10, you can kind of peer through the mists a little bit more. So it's really good if like you had a scout or something like that.
But it could also be harder like to hone in on those things because like you said, it increases everything.
Correct.
So like you're getting the strongest smells and sounds and everything all at once. So like sensory overload could happen, which
Pewter increases the allomancer's physical strength, speed, durability, and enhances the body's ability to heal.
Well, I thought this was like medieval times and stuff. What are they doing with a damn pewter?
Well, it's not really exactly medieval. I think it maybe a little bit.
Jesus
later,
transforming Christ.
Computer.
You
oh, okay.
It was a pewter joke.
I got it now.
Sorry, damn, Marcus.
No, it's okay. I'm allergic to puns. So it was funny, if you like puns.
If you're into that kind of thing.
If you're into that kind of thing. So those were the physical metals. The mental metals are zinc, brass, copper, and bronze. Zinc allows the allomancer to inflame their emotions of those nearby them. So I would be able to like just kind of nudge you and make you just a little bit more excited about something, or a little bit more depressed, or just a little bit more willing, to believe a lie or something. Maybe.
I mean, that one kind of makes sense because, not to be weird or gross, but zinc is present in a lot of sexual fluids heavily. So
that is actually weird and gross.
Yeah.
So you didn't mean to be, but you were.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I mean, it fires the passions of those around you. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Copper, creates an invisible cloud around the allomancer, which hides all within it from those who are burning bronze. So bronze allows the allomancer to hear pulses given off by other allomancers who are burning metals. And so if you burn bronze, you'll be able to kind of see if anybody else is burning a bunch of metals near you. But if you they call it a copper cloud. So they'll kind of burn copper, and it creates this kind of area of effect. And allomancers that are within that should be safe from being seen by others.
Do they just carry around a lot of these metals?
Yeah, they have them in little vials, and so there's like little shred, kind of like Goldschlager.
Oh god,
It's got the little gold flecks. I kind of picture it like just little flecks of gold, or and stuff like that in there.
Yeah.
Some of these might be spoilery because, like I said, so we were back to the hard and soft magic. So hard magic, like I said, it's almost closer to science, which is why some people kind of prefer soft magic because that's more unknowable and more mysterious.
Yeah.
But this is more like technology almost. It's like it has a very defined set of rules, but the way it should work, and it works in Brandon Sanderson's books, is that you kind of keep learning more and more about the magic system as it moves on. And you start to find that, there's not only just maybe these metals, there are these, what they call alloys, or like metals that kind of play off of each other in the sense of, like, say we were just talking about copper, or what's tin, the one that enhances your senses or something like that.
Tin.
So say
Tin is technically an alloy.
I don't know any of that.
Just throwing that out there.
Okay, well,
Somebody
this
tell
isn't a
Sanderson.
learn you something topic. Okay,
Somebody tell Sanderson.
I'm just saying I don't know. I don't know anything.
Anytime a new metal is discovered, does it make you just go,
Oh my God! Wow!
Pretty much. I mean, sometimes because, like I said, I'm in the last book and I'm having a hard time finishing it. It's because I don't know. I'm a huge Malazan fan, like Dane said earlier. He's kind of started that journey, but I think I'm just kind of spoiled to certain writing styles and certain fantasy elements, and it's just in these you are told everything you need to know. And sometimes I just feel like, at least in these books, because he's writing his big epic fantasy. It's called the Stormlight Archive, and that's going to be like a 15-book series. It's going to be his like Wheel of Time. It's going to be his big life's work.
Have any of them come out yet?
Yeah, 4 of them have come out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's going to take. I mean, by the time he's done, it'll be like it's crazy. Like it's gonna be his Wheel of Time, his A Song of Ice and
magnum
Fire.
opus?
Right. So these are some of his earlier ones, and I don't know. Like I said, he tells you everything you need to know. He holds your hand so easily, which can be really fun because, sometimes you want to be able to predict certain things about the story, but then sometimes it's just like, well, there's just no air of mystery at all. It's so cinematic. It's written so much like a Hollywood blockbuster that you can kind of see what's coming. Maybe not what's coming, but it's going to be one of these 2 moving parts. It's almost like there's nothing else populating this world. But maybe, like I said, that's just because it's one of his first novels, because he does have a pretty cool little setting for his cosmos. He calls it the Cosmere. So the Mistborn trilogy takes place on a world called Scadrial, I believe, and some of his other stories take place on other planets within his Cosmere. And there is some crossover and stuff like that. So I just think it's cool. It's like a kind of a really big universe full of fantasy worlds. Like how awesome is that?
It's super smart for authors like Stephen King and Sanderson to do things like this, because if you make so much work, you can kind of start to kind of fan service in a way in some books, do these little mentions of other other books that you've written, other characters, or glimpses of that, or borrow things from other sections of books you've already written.
Right.
And I don't know, I just think it's really smart for you to do that, for later on, for you to be able to use things like that. You could have a convergence at some point if you wanted to, of 2 worlds you've created.
Characters from 2 completely different worlds.
And would they be adhered to the same kind of magic style, or would they be from opposing styles?
See, that's what I don't know. I haven't gotten that deep into the Cosmere yet. The Stormlight Archive would probably be the way to do that, because some of the other stuff is just more like shorter stories, novellas, and things like that. Plus, he writes all kinds of other stuff. I know you've gotten his book Skyward, I believe. It's like a young YA sci-fi book.
Yeah, it was part of a buy one get one free thing on Audible, and I was like, I'll have some Sanderson. I didn't know if it was YA or whatever.
Yeah,
but
the dude writes like a maniac.
Give me a good idea.
He does I've seen a lot of his lectures on YouTube, kind of like his writing process, his writing style. He actually teaches how to write sci-fi and fantasy at a university, and uploads all the lectures onto YouTube.
Oh,
so
for
sometimes,
real?
yeah, it's actually really interesting.
So it's like a masterclass, but it's free and it's
exactly
on YouTube, so,
yeah. It's really cool.
Awesome.
And he has some very smart ways of going about it, and everybody's a little different. But his comes from just like really, really focusing on outlining and planning his stories before he goes, and so that's how he's able to take these soft magic systems and kind of keep surprising you with them, even though you think you know all the rules, you think you know how this is working. Oh, well, 10 does this and this and this. Well, until they find this other metal or something, and then now all of a sudden, not only can I see across the street and into those woods, but then there's another metal if you burn at the same time that basically just exponentially increases whatever metal you're burning now. So if I burnt pewter and I'm able to lift a car, and then I burnt this other metal, I would be able to like lift 4 cars.
Oh, that's cool.
So it just really amps up whatever metal that you're actually burning.
And why do you want to lift cars, though?
Well, it's not in this world. They wouldn't. There's no cars. But I'm just trying to explain it.
Oh, okay.
Are you into CrossFit? Is this how you're telling us that you're into CrossFit?
No, I'm into fantasy and all indoor activities and no light and no vitamin D at all. And lots of anxiety.
Oh, okay.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
I get that life. Like
Yeah.
like a ghost Viking, you want to look your best. You got your a ghost Viking. I mean, his complexion tells you he doesn't get outside much, and his style says he's a Viking.
The plaid really is what sets off that Viking aspect.
They didn't have to
Pajama
know he
pants.
was wearing plaid pajama pants.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, they didn't have to know
all
that.
Vikings wear plaid pajama pants.
What are they going to think is going on over here on the nights that we record
Well,
together?
I mean, maybe they think we're naked. I don't know. I'm not a listener.
What if we're
I am a
act-
listener,
what
but
if-
I'm also on here.
What if there's somebody who's never seen us in real life that listens to this and pictures us as like 4 actual floating orbs that are grapes?
That's what we are.
Yeah, but then when they see that we're people, they go,
Oh my God! Wow!
And I hope that's what all of you have felt after listening to this episode of Nerd It Through the Grapevine on Spotify and iTunes and Audible and Castbox. If there's a spot, if there's a place that has podcasts, I think we're there. I think we've pretty much done that. So thank you for listening wherever you do that. If you give us a rating on Spotify and iTunes of 5 stars and even Audible of 5 stars, I'm sure the other ones have rating systems too, but do it on all of them that you listen to us on and give a little description if they let you do that and say, hey, I like them because of this, or give us 5 stars and go, I don't like it when they do this. And that's okay too, because the 5 stars is all that matters. And then if you also click on our Teespring link in the description of this episode, you can wear us on your body whenever you feel like, with our logo and our names and our hot stinking fecal garbage and the like.
Also, I found out this week that if you get on Podchaser, they have a ranking system and star giving and also a comment section. So one of our other podcasts that we're friends with, Homicide Worldwide, was on there, and they had done something on there for us. I think another one I think it might have been Haunter. I barely know her that had gone on there. But that also exists. But if you want to get on our Facebook, our Instagram, and our Twitter and talk to us about some miscellaneous things, I can't remember what our last thing was. It was something about some vegan wolf. I think we talked about on there.
He's out there.
Yeah, the vegan wolf. But we could talk about that if you look up at Nerd Grapevine, or if you wanted to donate a little bit to the cause, you can get on our Patreon account by looking up Best Friends Tiny Ink and you'll get a shiny holographic sticker from Nerd It Through the Grapevine with our logo on it and access to future content and uncensored content that we have that might cause you to experience.
so let me know how big of a bucket you think I'm going to need for the Arkansas bucket trap to capture me a girlfriend, because they all keep running away, and I need to find a wild one to domesticate. So get on the Discord and just let me know. Give me dimensions, sizes, compatibilities, colors to look for, whether or not to use peanut butter or almond butter or sunflower butter. Just get on there, get in the Backyard Bonanza, check out our memes, check out what we've made canon in our universe. It's a great time. We're on there live, uncut, uncensored, and completely circumcised, and there's a link in our description.
So wait, just real quick. If we used a trash can instead of a bucket, can we switch from mice to raccoons?
Yes.
Now I'm into it.
All right, Tiny. When life gives you grapes.
When life gives me grapes, I typically tend to take the grapes and I put them in my pocket and I carry them around for a while and I throw them at naughty children. I just try to peck them right in the face. Oh God, what was that? It's squishy and sticky and wet.
Oh my God! Wow!
That's bad. Let's cut that out. Because I really don't want that out there for somebody to chop and splice and make horrible.
They don't have to chop and splice it. It's bad.
Stop there.